Okay, hello all. So I was looking for math internships. I will talk about gender in a minute, but first I was looking for math internships, and also listening to YouTube videos on Tranny Star Galactica. And I had this thought that sort of tied the two together in a way I never expected them to be tied. A lot of people think math is really very rigid, and it is in a lot of ways. Math is something that, in most ways, it is absolute. You have proofs for pretty much everything. Yeah, but most people think it's very like blocky and concrete, and parts of it are, but parts of it are not. The difference there is, like, if you're dealing with numbers, there are discrete numbers, which are like basically the counting numbers or the integers or whatever, like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. They don't have to go in that order. That's not the point. The point is, and then there's the continuous numbers, which basically include all of the decimals, all possible decimal numbers, which include all the fractions, all the irrational numbers, and so on and so forth. And there's more continuous numbers and functions and other things that I'm talking about, but you're probably not here for a math lesson. But I was thinking about that and gender, and I realized a lot of people probably think because mathematicians view things so concretely, they might just try and split it up into little blocks. And I was thinking, well, yeah, I sort of do that anyways. Except the blocks keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and there's so many of them that it kind of becomes a continuous function. Not a function, but a continuous thing, a spectrum, if you will. One that I feel is rather more complicated than most people make it out to be, but a spectrum nonetheless. So yeah, continuous, the idea of continuity relating math and gender. Cool. That's all I had to say. Okay, so that was going to be the end of it, but then I thought of something else. So a lot of people just put gender on the spectrum from male to female, and then all that in between. But as I keep saying, it's more complicated than that. There's more than just those two poles and what's in between. And so yeah, I was trying to think of the math comparison to that, and I figured, okay, well, maybe it's the difference between like positive and negative infinity. You can go, at least sort of, you can go as far in one direction and as far in the other direction as you want, and there's all this stuff in the middle. But then I wondered, well, then how do you describe everything else? Because all real numbers can be put somewhere on that line, sort of, between positive and negative infinity. And then I thought complex numbers, imaginary numbers, those work. So I am complex. I is complex, because I is the complex number. That joke went over really badly. Anyway, but yeah, I is the square root of -1, for those of you who don't know. Like, if you're solving polynomial x squared plus 1 equals 0, then x is the square root of -1, which doesn't actually exist on the normal number line. You have to go into the complex plane, which is pretty cool. There's all sorts of different numbers. There's p-adic numbers. There's, I forget what they're called, but essentially it's h, such that the absolute value of h is actually -1, even though normally think absolute value, it's a positive number, but that's not the case here. and I'm really rambling, but yeah, so yeah, all the complications of gender, sorry, can kind of parallel my math analogy with the other numbers out there, such as the complex numbers. Anyway, yeah, that's all I had to say to add on, at least I hope. I actually had this video completely uploaded, and that takes a while on my computer. It takes like an hour and a half, and that was just like a 3-minute video, and now it's longer, so I think I'm going to upload it while I'm sleeping. Anyway, yeah, I should get back to my drawing project. Oh, I'm going to show you my drawing project. Here it is. Ta-da! That's my drawing project. I'm really excited. It's due tomorrow, it's not actually done yet. Anyway, yeah, that's actually all this time, folks, so good night.